Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while since we've done an Abyss run, and with the 5.7 livestream coming out today, I figured, you know what, we might as well go back and try a Spiral Abyss run before we seemingly have a new endgame mode releasing, which will be very exciting. Now for this Abyss, what we're going to be doing is on our first off, we will be running ourselves our little Ganyu here, alongside Furina with our brand new escoffier, wherever she is. There we go. And then we're going to be finishing it off with our Diona, just so that we can fill out our team with only cryo, and also gives us shielding, which can be nice for Ganyu sometimes. And then on the second half, we're going for a slightly strange team, because there are quite a few restrictions on the second half. We really want Pyro for this enemy, but then of course for the Pupilla, we want some nice whole aligned damage and just a lot of elemental damage either way. So we're going to be going for Mavuika alongside Bennett, as well as Xiangling. And then finishing off with our Ororon. Unfortunately, we don't have any answer. I would have loved to use her, but oh well. Oh, also real quick, because there is a 75% cryo skill damage buff on the first half when it comes to our Escoffier's artifacts, I decided to take her off of Golden Troop, since that basically makes up for all of the damage bonus we will be getting. So this should be a relatively reliable showcase of Escoffier's strength. So yeah, now with that being said, let's just hop right into it. Alright, and here we are on the first chamber with our Ganyu team. We do pick up the elemental burst buff, which I mean is okay. You know, Ganyu's elemental burst of course does contribute damage, although I would have preferred probably a normal charge attack buff for Ganyu or an elemental skill buff for our Furina and Escoffier, because you know they also contribute a decent amount to the team damage. Anyway, this guy spawned in his little pet, so let's take that out quickly so that we can deal more damage to the main boss. There we go. Okay, just barely alive. There we go. There he is. And now for these guys, I remember I used to hate these enemies. Now they don't scare me as much, although I do hope that they group up here, especially when they're frozen. They don't really do anything for you, although to be fair, you could say that about most freezable enemies in this game. Anyway, okay, they are grouped up now, which is perfect for us. Let's just make sure we hit. Okay, we hit, I think it was about 50k. Yeah, we're hitting around 50k on the second charge attack, around 28. So between 25 and 30k, and then 45 to 50k we're hitting when it comes to our two charge attacks, which is very nice. Of course, like I said, this is a top 2% Ganyu, although it is E0 S0, not E0 S0, sorry, this isn't Honkai Star Rail, C0 R0, instead using a, I believe it's an R5 prototype Crescent, if I'm not mistaken, if my game knowledge is not failing me. Anyway, we can conserve bursts here, so let's just go ahead, use our skills, get some more energy back, perfect. And we should finish this in about 75 seconds, yeah, perfect, so that's under the 90-second recommended time. Very nice. And now we do have our Mavuika team here. Of course, part of the reason why we're running Xiangling here, so that we can get as much pyro application as possible. We want to funnel a bit more into Xiangling as well. I'm not even using my Bennett burst yet, just because of the fact that we don't really do damage to this guy right now. I mean, now we kind of do, because I'm pretty sure we already took him out of his first state, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, let's use our Mavuika's stuff. Now we can actually use our Bennett's skills. We go back into Bennett so that we can use his skill to funnel into Xiangling straight away. And now we use our ult on Mavuika, because this guy's now down. We hit about 252k. Reason why we're using Ororon instead of someone like Citlalia, of course, is because I do not have Citlalia on this account, unfortunately. Don't even have Iansan, unfortunately, so yeah, best we can kind of do right now. Anyway, we want to get our skill back so that we can funnel for Xiangling again, because in this part he has like insane resistances. Is it 270%, or am I completely making that up? Is that another boss I'm thinking of? Although I'm pretty sure it's this guy in his first shield. Now it's on his second shield, so now he does actually take some damage, as you guys can see from his health bar going down a bit here. Anyway, let's go back to funneling Xiangling, and now we can get started on our rotation in a second. There we go. We can use our Bennett stuff now, and there we go. We should be able to clear this in time. Our rotations have lined up to when this guy is down. 300k there, and if we just spin around a bit on Mavuika with all the team damage, she's getting about 70k, I think, there on some charge attacks. There we go, and we managed to finish with 20 set. Not okay. Yeah, so we got barely under 90 seconds on the second half, as well as 75 seconds on the first half, which I will take. With that being said, let's move right on to the second chamber. Okay, and here we are on the second chamber, picking up a max attack buff, which is very nice for our Ganyu. Mavuika too, I mean Escoffier as well, you know, most characters in the game will appreciate an attack buff, other than the likes of Furina, Neverlet, Morlani does a lot, but you know. Okay, anyway, the first wave is basically done already, which is very nice. Yeah, Ganyu is very strong when it comes to clearing mobs like this. You know, if they're freezable, great, and even if not, then she's still fine at it. Now with the PMA, this is, I mean, there's better bosses in the game for us, but it's not going to be the worst either. Now, of course, the good thing Pardon me, the good thing about this team is that we do have shielding here, so even though the PMA cannot be frozen, we should still be able to charge attack on Ganyu uninterrupted, unless there's a big attack, which will break our shield. Okay, we're about halfway done with the health bar, which is nice. Okay, we managed to dodge that without taking any damage or destroying our shield, which is also nice. Now we just go back into our burst, and I think he should be spawning his things in soon. So I do just want to finish my rotation before he spawns all his stuff in. Okay, never mind, he's not doing that right now. Okay, this is a bit annoying because it means we are going to waste some of our uptime on our rotation. Yeah, the PMA is so annoying with the fact that the HP bar just locks and he takes a long time for his summons to get up. To be fair, it actually took so long we managed to get another rotation up, even though that one did basically no damage. Okay, yeah, anyway, let's just use all of our things here. I think we're going to take a bit over 90 seconds, but that's mostly because of how much the PMA stalls. You know, the PMA as a boss isn't that bad, but it does stall a fair bit. And then if you're using a team which, you know, this is a decent team against bosses thanks to escoffier, although if we had someone like a Shenhe, we'd be doing more damage right now, even someone like a Setladi as well. So yeah, we're probably going to end up taking about 105 seconds here, actually even a bit longer than that, which isn't exactly what you want to see. But yeah, we got slightly unlucky RNG wise there. If we managed to get him down a bit quicker, we probably clear in 90 seconds, if not less. But because we don't, we kind of get punished by how much the PMA is able to stall if your rotations misalign even slightly. And then you also have the RNG of what enemy it is, which gets the little circle around it, which you have to weaken. So yeah, definitely a bit of an annoying boss. It can be very easy and also very annoying. Depends on the team as well. I mean, for someone like Mavuika, the PMA is literally like it's a joke. But then if you're running something like a Ganyu, then it can be a bit more difficult, which is why I still think that Wriothesley and Ayaka, honestly, I prefer a bit. But Ganyu is still very fun, especially with Escoffier, and I'm glad that Escoffier has given me more ways to play my Ganyu, because honestly, I did miss using her quite a bit. Anyway, we do just want to take out this guy's nice old shield now. Also, this guy is a bit tankier than the last one, so I do want to set up a good rotation for when his shield does go down, because I do want to take him out in one go. Okay, let's use all of our things here, reduce the pyro res, and then use Ororon's burst. And now we use the skill into the ult, and if we spin around a bit, we should be able to one-cycle him now. Just barely, and okay, there we go with barely 1 second spare. So yeah, we did manage to clear the second chamber. Like I said, PMA, we got slightly unlucky there, would have taken us longer than it normally would, and then we got the job done in the second chamber. But now we have the final chamber, which features the papilla, which is going to be the chamber I am dreading most, so I will see you guys there in a second. Alright, and here we are in the third chamber alongside the dreaded papilla on the second half, but luckily on the first half we have a pretty easy chamber. I'm not gonna lie right here. Well, at least normally it's pretty easy. This ruin grader, if I recall correctly, it's been a while, should go down pretty easily here. Okay, we haven't managed to knock him down yet, but that's fine, he's frozen anyway. We're hitting for what? 31k and then 53k, so yeah, between 30 to 50k on the 2 charge attacks. Now this guy, ideally we can freeze him so that he doesn't get his shield up, but even if he does, as long as we make enough progress on it, it will be fine. Just use our escoffier stuff here, and hopefully we have enough Hydra application from Furina in order to keep him frozen. We shall see. We've already done a third of his health bar. Okay, never mind. That's unfortunate, but luckily we do have our Ganyu's burst going up right now, so we should have done a lot of elemental application. Yeah, this guy's shield's gonna go down, and there we go. We have all of our bursts back up, so let's just use our Furina as well as our Escoffier here, and then we can switch back to our Ganyu and go into a single charge shot, and there we go. He goes off right before we can even trigger the final charge shot, so we managed to clear that in about, I want to say, a minute. Yeah, it was exactly a minute. Okay, anyway, okay, let this guy put up his state. Now let's use Bennett, put up the burst. To be fair, we probably didn't even need to do that. Apply the elemental application from Xiangling, so we get as much elemental application as possible. Ororon, E into Q, and then we go into some N1Ds on Mavuika. Okay, you know what? We already managed to take out that shield. That actually took way shorter than I expected. To be fair, normally the first one's easier to take out than the second one when playing this. Now, of course, the reason, like I mentioned, why we're playing this team is because, of course, Xiangling here does a lot of elemental application, which helps for the papilla. And then also will apply a lot of pyro for the first boss, which is why I feel like this is probably the best version of a Mavuika team I could cook up on this count with the units that we have at our disposal. Anyway, once this guy stops moving around, we can go back into our rotation. There we go. And okay, I'm scared that this guy's about to go back into the center. Okay, no, he doesn't. Okay, perfect. So we have about a minute left here with a third of the HP bar left. Okay, that's interesting. He's probably going to go back in the middle soon. Okay, we need to not die here because that would not be ideal. Okay, perfect. And now I'm guessing this guy's going to go back in the middle. No, still not. Okay, that's interesting. I would have expected him to by now, but never mind. We'll just go back into a rotation. Okay, now I think he's going to go back in the middle. Yes, he is. So I think, yeah, I'm not going to use my burst here. I'm going to wait for him to spawn up his shield. There we go. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go for like N2 dash, N2, there we go, and then N2 dash, stuff like that, because I believe this should be the fastest way to apply Night Soul damage using Mavuika. There we go. Yep, perfect. Now, are we going to be able to get it? 15 seconds left, 10 seconds. We should be able to. Yeah, we have Mavuika's ultimate, so we will be able to. And there we go. Never mind, I lied. Okay, 5 seconds. Okay, we cleared it with 5 seconds left. So, yeah, we just about managed to clear it. I will be honest, the Papilla was giving me some trouble for quite some time. But luckily we managed to clear it in the end. Like I said, there are teams I would have preferred in the second half, but just with all the restrictions with the Pyro for the first boss and then the Night Soul for the Papilla, it was kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Not my favorite Abyss, if I'm being entirely honest, probably one of my least favorites. But what can we do? With that being said, let's move on to the character builds as well as the outro. Well then, as you can see, we're just about able to clear the current Abyss before we have the likes of Skirk and the new endgame mode releasing. When it comes to our character builds, real quick, starting off with our Ganyu, 46 crit rate, 214 crit damage, no ERR, but we have quite a lot of cryoparticles in that team anyway. Prototype Crescent, R5. When it comes to our artifacts, double crit on Blizzard Strayer, of course, double crit again. Cryo damage as well as crit damage, main stat there, C0 with 10, 6, 10 talents. For our Furina, we have nearly 40k HP, 64 crit rate, 207 crit damage, 168 ER, with the Fab Sword at R1 artifacts. Once again, double crit, HP crit damage, with C0 as well as 2, 9, 10 talents. When it comes to our escoffier, as I already mentioned, she isn't on Golden Troop to make up for the damage bonus we would be getting. 76 crit rate, 158 crit damage, 158 ER, with Favalance, level 80 at R1. When it comes to the artifact quality, just like I said, trying to get some double crit, trying to get some ER in there as well, attack, crit damage as well, for the nice healing as well as damage, and then 186 talents. When it comes to our Diona, real quick, 31k HP, 26 crit rate, 146 ER, sometimes when you use her ult. We have her on a level 1 Fav bow, her ER really doesn't matter that much to me. She's just on 2-piece HP, so that her shield can be as tanky as possible. Full HP main stats, level C6, although that really won't matter in this team, 111, 9 talents. And then finally, when it comes to our second half team, we have Mavuika on 40 crit rate, 223 crit damage, 106 ER, although ER doesn't matter, 170 EM as well. Although we're not really doing that many reactions in this team, she is on a R1 Serpent Spine. With double crit, and then of course attack, pyro, and crit damage. Constellations as well, C0 with 1, 9, 10 talents. When it comes to our Bennett, wherever he is, there we go. 223 ER with 1.2k attack. He is on a level 70 Aquila Favonia, and then again hit crit. I think just ER and HP basically on his stats here. With C6 as well, and 1 for 12 talents. When it comes to our xiangling, 56 crit rate, 127 crit damage, 218 ER, because we don't have the catch. Okay, she was on beginner's polearm. I did not realize that. That's pretty awkward. I normally have her on the prototype slug glitter. Okay, okay, so we definitely could have had a faster clear on the second half. I did not realize that was happening. Although, to be fair, she was mainly there for elemental application, not damage, so it doesn't matter too much, although the extra damage would be nice. Anyway, double crit ER on emblem as well, of course, and then once again, she's C6 with 1 for 11 talents. And then finally, for our ororon, 71 crit rate, 120 crit damage, 161 ER, with a R5 level 95 warbow, with Cinder City, of course, so that we can get the damage bonus for all our Electro and Pyro characters. And finally, he is also C6 because we had to do like 160 pulls on Chaska and then 111, 12 talents. So yeah, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you guys next time when Skirk releases and maybe in the brand new endgame mode as well.